different in this bitch. Fuck it. I ride. Got the top let down. Leaning to the right with the bass up now. I slide, glide, choking on that beat. 2 miles per hour, so everybody ride. Got the top let down. Leaning to the right with the bass up loud. I slide, glide, choking on that beat. 2 miles per hour, so everybody you see the European grills on the lips split. Tank full of Theraflu, cause I be in them shit. Oops. Brick slip, roll with me, get your contact. High definition popping, flipping out the armrest. See, I'm a rider, dipping in the catalog. Just got it fitted on some shit I need a ladder for. Come up in your hood stunting when I leave, dude. 2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you. I can't deny, I feel I'm such a fly guy. Top job, call them Sleepy Hollow when they ride by. I know them haters can't stand. I ain't got a blemish on my Jolly Rancher can. Ride on, ride. Top let down. Weaving through the crowd with the bass up loud. Just slide. On the slab when I creep. Take a bath where you put your ass on them seats. Ride. Got the top.
What it do? Y'all already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. Yeah. It's going down today. Y'all hit that like button if you come in the building. Let me know that y'all in the building in the comments. You know, it's going down today for real. My man, let's see who we got in the building. We got my man Johnny Q in the building. What's happening with it? Yeah, my man Mike Rhyme in the building. Big Omega Red in the building. James off in the building. My man John Kramer in the building. Samuel Washington Teach in the building. My man Ketty Peace 504 in the building. Phil J 508. Charles Granger in the building. Anthony Johnson. My man Rick Timms off in the building. South side of Houston, Texas, off in the building. Loyal to the game, Mr. Kwame East in the building. Yeah. Yeah, it's finna go down today. Y'all better believe that. But like I said, make sure that y'all hit the like button. The like button is free. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button. Let me see. Who else we got in the building? Let me see. My man Randall Bivens in the building. The Queen Miss Joette in the building. BL in the building. Corey Moe. Let me see who else. Windy City Assassin. BL from that south side of Houston, Texas, off in the building. Jay Grant. My man Ty Swindle, straight from that ATL. Chef Boy ID. Yeah. Jermaine Bean. He said, funny Magic Man Polly disappeared this weekend. Hey, man, I'm gonna make a video and get on this helmet, too. Oh, we ain't forgot about him. We sure ain't forgot about him, Jermaine. And I appreciate you coming through, showing love in that super chat. My man, Upper Echelon Sports Bar. What's happening with it? Where you been at, man? Big, a.k.a. Big Texas ATX. What's happening with it? TWT, the winning team in the building. Yeah. It's a lot going on. Cool weekend of boxing. You know, we had some entertaining fights go down. A lot of people talking about this Vasyl Lomachenko fight. A lot of people surprised, even the people that don't like Vasyl Lomachenko, a lot of people surprised about how he looked. A lot of people thought he was going to look different than what he looked like. You know what I'm saying? I was one of them. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the, the news that's going around, the rumors that's going around. So we going to get into everything that went down. You had some fights on DAZN. You had Jake Paul and Anderson Silva. And I told everybody, I told y'all, I said Anderson Silva can really fight. You know what I'm saying? I said Anderson Silva can really, really fight. Y'all niggas want to argue. Oh man, he's old. I said, nah. Anderson Silva has a boxing background into me, right? I gotta go watch the fight again. I was missing like a little bits and pieces, but from what I saw, Anderson Silva won that fight. At least the draw. You know, I know Jake Paul got to knock down in the last round, but Anderson Silva was he was putting it on Jake Paul. But Jake Paul showed me some things. He showed me that he do have he showed me that he do got boxing skills. He got a chin. Jake Paul got a chin. And that fight, if y'all watched that fight, that shit was hella entertaining. They was out there putting it all on the line. You know what I'm saying? They were really going at it. But yeah, Cassandra Mason, the queen, is in the building. So to say the least, you know, that Jake Paul fight with Anderson Silva, that shit was entertaining. But Anderson Silva, man, if Anderson Silva was younger, it wouldn't even been no question that he would have beat the dog shit out of Jake Paul. But to me, I thought Anderson Silva was winning that fight. You know what I'm saying? I thought, not even think, Anderson Silva was definitely winning that fight. Was definitely winning that fight. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul, he had his moments in that fight. Like I said, up until the knockdown, Anderson Silva, he had his moments, but yeah, he was definitely winning that fight. Rick Tam says the knockdown saved Jake. Yeah, but you know, I don't know what the scorecards was looking like, but Jake Paul wasn't winning that fight. Anderson Silva was doing his thing, but it didn't surprise me because niggas was in here talking about, oh man, he gonna go and lay down. It's already fixed. I said, man, you can't do that. You can't say that shit about Anderson Silva. He ain't never showed you nothing like that. They ain't gonna lay down for nobody. And I told everybody, I said, I picked Anderson Silva to beat Jake Paul. If Jake Paul can beat Anderson Silva, he got my respect. But yeah, he went out there and you know, they gave him the decision. Although I really don't think that he did enough to win the fight. Like I said, I got to watch it over again. Because, you know, I had to go back and watch the Lomachenko and Jermaine Ortiz fight more than one time. Had to go back and watch that again. It was just so much of shit going on Saturday night. It was hard to keep up with everything. Exactly, Randall Bivens. Silva ain't the type of dude that's just going to go in there and throw a fight. Yeah. But yeah, we you know, it was a lot of shit going on Saturday night with boxing. Exciting. And y'all hit the like button. Let me check the likes, man. Let me check these likes. Y'all got to hit the like button because like I said before, it's free to hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit the like button. And it's crazy to me how people still come in here, sit in the background, and won't hit the like button. T say Jake was definitely losing. Why did a knockdown save him? They saying the knockdown saved him. I don't think that he, like, before that point, I didn't give Jake Paul more than 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Before that point, I didn't give Jake Paul more than 2 rounds. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't think that he did enough to win the fight, but he did show me that he could take a punch, that he got a lot of dog in him, and it ain't no quitting him. He still have, you know, and like I said, man, this is only the man's 6th fight. He didn't have no amateur background, and niggas want him to see him fight, you know what I'm saying, top-ranked opponents or top 15, top 10. It ain't ready for that. You know what I'm saying? He's not ready for that. You feel what I'm saying? He shouldn't be ready for that. Now, all of the calling out Canelo Alvarez, he don't want no goddamn Canelo Alvarez. He just doing that shit so people can talk about that shit. One thing about Jake Paul, he know how to promote himself. He know what to say to get an uproar, you know what I'm saying, from the boxing community, and he know good so goddamn well he can't fuck with Canelo. He can't fuck with nobody in his weight division in the top 10 yet. But who can? What man can get in there and fight somebody on that level that's only been boxing, that's only he didn't even start training in boxing to 2018. Had no amateur background. So I think a lot of us is expecting things out of him that we never expected out of any other fighter in the history of boxing. Now, I feel a lot of people, they looking at this kid that come from the Disney Channel, and they like, man, who the fuck he think he is? You know what I'm saying? Being able to get on pay-per-view and make big pay-per-views and fight these MMA fighters and all this shit. And I get it, but at the end of the day, we got to look at the things that he's doing for the sport, like putting it on other, other black young men in the sport that wouldn't get no shine if it wasn't for him. He put on for his city. He put on for boxing. He just like the young kid that he been putting on, that he signed. What's his name? H2O Silva. Man, that kid looked like he got the goods. Now, of course, we got to see a lot more, but Jake Paul put him on and giving him, light to shine. Put him on as the co-main event on his card. You see what I'm saying? That's the things that you do when you want to put on for your city, when you want to put on for the sport. Ain't nobody else doing that in the sport of boxing right now. You know what I mean? Errol Spence, he's trying to, he's trying to put on with Frank Martin. Now, he's tried to get Frank Martin on his undercard several times, but it's not a lot of fighters doing things like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially putting a kid that's only 18 years old on pay-per-view on your co-main event. I mean, to be the co-main event for your for a fight of that magnitude. So yeah, you got to give it up to Jake Paul for doing that, for helping others around him out. Rick Tam said Silva and Ortiz both had the odds against them versus favorites. Knockout wins probably, he says, knockout wins probably where they only hopes. Otherwise, decisions weren't happening. Jake and Loma were promoted to win, so it was biased from and I agree with you 1,000%. That's what we saw. Ain't nothing gonna change in boxing. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. The only chance that Anderson Silva had to beat Jake Paul is he had to knock out Jake Paul. And he showed that he couldn't do that because he hit Jake Paul with some vicious uppercuts, some vicious hooks, and really Jake Paul was eating them shits. You know what I'm saying? So we know that the kid got a chin. You know what I'm saying? He got a chin. We know that. He was eating some punches. He ate a lot of punches from Silva. So, that's one thing I did learn. I said, man, this kid got a chin on him. And he still, like I said, he still has defensive flaws. So he get in there with a real fighter that can punch right now. He gonna get his helmet knocked. He gonna get, put to sleep. Because you can't take punches like that from a top cruiserweight or a top light heavyweight, wherever he decides to fight at. Yeah. Blood and Bone, what's happening with it? Tubi Leak, what it do? Rick Tam say Jake ate a lot of uppercuts. Yep. J.A. Dixon says, is Jake on that corner being? I can't see. I mean, everybody want to accuse people of some shit just because that's what they want. I'm not finna accuse that man of shit until he get caught on some shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now, if he came out and he had a whole bunch of fucking back acne, if he came out looking like Janabek with no acne on his face, but a back full of acne, then I would be like, okay, yeah, this man on some shit. I don't have no reason to accuse Jake Paul of being on nothing. Nor do y'all. Y'all don't have no reason to accuse Jake Paul of being on no type of PEDs. You know what I'm saying? Because what have we seen? What have we seen to say that he's on PEDs? J.A. Dixon says, did they drug test? Why are you asking me? Do you know if they drug tested or not? I don't know if they drug tested or not. So we don't know if they drug tested or not. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't just come out and assume some shit because, you know, that's the narrative that's running around. Now, if he do pop dirty, right, on PEDs, then I'm going to be the first one on his helmet. Can't nobody tell me that Woodley said that he was juiced, because if that was the case, why did Woodley get in the ring with him? And like I said, at the end of the day, it's as simple as, where's the failed drug test at? So I'm not going to entertain that shit, man. For real. I'll entertain it when it needs to be entertained, when it come up, if it ever comes up. Then that's a conversation to have, but we just not going to put some shit on somebody, you know, with no evidence, no proof of nothing. Just off of some what other people said or what the narrative around YouTube is going around saying. Yeah, and my man Joshua Hawkins say, Mr. Man Down about to drop some fire this week. Respect ETB. Yeah, definitely finna drop it on us this week. Miss Joette says they did test. He always does before fights. And like I said, I don't know if they tested. I don't know if they didn't test, because I wasn't following the build up in the, you know, everything surrounding the Jake Paul and Anderson Silva fight. I was just knowing when they was gonna fight, and I knew I was gonna watch it when they fought. But as far as following everything, I wasn't following it like that. No, I know you asking. I know you asking, J.A. Dixon, but I also know why you asking. And like I said, no beef. There ain't nothing wrong with you asking, but I know that you were just asking. You weren't making an assumption, but I also know why you asking, because it's a lot of people running around YouTube with that narrative. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we got to leave that type of shit alone unless we see obvious shit. Like, to me, when I saw the back of Janabek, his back was full of acne. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have no acne on his face. Well, to me, that's when I said, okay, well, Janabek, that motherfucker on some steroids. It is what it is. But I haven't seen no evidence of that with Jake Paul, you know. I just can't assume shit. But like I said, if Jake Paul is on PEDs, I'm not going to assume it now, and I'm not going to say he is. And if he is, eventually we'll know. You feel what I'm saying? Eventually we will find out. So, you know, we don't really got to worry about that. Eventually it will come out. But yeah, man, like I said, that card was entertaining to me. Le'Veon Bell, he found out that he might need to stick to football or having exhibition fights against football players. Because like I said, and this is a perfect example of why niggas need to show Jake Paul respect, right? Le'Veon Bell is a professional football player. I mean, was a top running back in the league for years. You know what I'm saying? He's still young. Le'Veon Bell is young. Hella young. Le'Veon Bell might not even be 30 yet. Let me see how old Le'Veon Bell yet. And I'm going to make my point because Le'Veon Bell is the perfect example for me to make this point with. Hold on real quick. Le'Veon Bell is on, okay, he barely 30. He's only 30 years old. Young, right? Le'Veon Bell, during his football career, he made it clear to everybody he was training back then in boxing. Le'Veon Bell has been training in boxing for way longer than Jake Paul. He's been training in boxing. Way longer than Jake Paul, right? Le'Veon Bell gets in the ring, his fight before this past Saturday. He gets in the ring and he fights Adrian Peterson. He knocks out Adrian Peterson. Everybody like, hey, Le'Veon Bell might have a chance to do something down the line in boxing. He's still young and he looked like he got a lot of skills, right? Le'Veon Bell then goes in there and he gets in with an MMA fighter. An MMA fighter that does stand up. You know, he don't have a boxing background like Anderson Silva does, right? But he has a background like Tyron Woodley did, right? To where he never fought professionally in boxing, but and I'm talking about Le'Veon Bell's opponent, Uriah Hall. If I didn't make that clear, I'm talking about Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall was an MMA fighter, is an MMA fighter, but he trains in boxing, right? So Le'Veon Bell, a professional athlete that's been training in boxing himself way longer than Jake Paul. He gets in the ring and he gets the dog shit beat out of him by an MMA fighter. He got the dog shit beat out of him by an MMA fighter. Right? But then when Jake Paul beats the shit out of MMA fighters, don't nobody want to give him credit for it. Le'Veon Bell tried to do the same shit. And like I said, once again, Le'Veon Bell has been training in boxing way longer than Jake Paul has. He only has one other fight, but he's been training longer than Jake Paul has. And he's a better athlete than Jake Paul. But he got in that boxing ring and tried to fight an MMA fighter just like Jake Paul been doing, and he got the dog shit beat out of him. Uriah Hall beat Le'Veon Bell ass from post to post. And no disrespect to Le'Veon Bell, because I gotta respect that man for getting in the ring and doing what he's doing. But Uriah Hall, you know, he's an MMA fighter that's you know, he has a kickboxing background, but he's an MMA fighter and he's trained in boxing. And so the point that now what I would like to see is either Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, because you know, Nate Diaz, we know that he can box. Andre Ward has said that Nate Diaz has great boxing skills. Nate Diaz has sparred with Andre Ward for years. You know, Ward had Nate Diaz in his training camp to spar him. So we know that Nate Diaz got a stand-up game, right? Trained in boxing for years and years and years. Either I want to see Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. If we can't get that, I want to see Jake Paul. I want to see him get in the ring with Uriah Hall. Or you know, the fight that we didn't get to see with Rockman Jr. Make that shit happen. But yeah, you know, nevertheless, that shit was entertaining. Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, they went to war. They went to war. Real talk. Leon Robinson, what's happening with it? Brandon House in the building. What it do? My man, Big Dog Willie. Hashtag Con Goat TWT. Always coming through showing love. He says, Con taught Dominique Wilkins how to dunk. Facts. I mean, when I looked it up, that's what I saw. You know what I'm saying? When I checked the background of Amir Khan, that's what I saw. Gertz in the building. Jay Grant Jr. said Uriah Hall want all the smoke. Yeah, I like to see that shit. I would like to see that. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that. And then, like I said, once Jake Paul, once he get once he get about 10 fights under his belt, then you know what I'm saying, start fighting. Once he get 10 fights under his belt, because he has no amateur background. Let the man get 10 fights like that, you know, go fight a Uriah Hall, fight a goddamn Nate Diaz, somebody like that, you know. He got 6, get 10 fights under his belt, and then that's when we need to start talking about him fighting, you know, some of these, you know, maybe somebody in the top 20. Fight somebody in the top 20, see how he do and move along. But he might not get that far, because one of these other, you know what I'm saying, fighters that I named might beat his ass before then. It just is what it is, man. Yeah, Uriah Hall can fight. He showed that. He showed Le'Veon Bell that. You dig? Like I said, that card was entertaining. It was entertaining. Jojo Diaz's fault. I didn't really see that fight, but I heard he got his ass beat by William Zepeda. You know what I'm saying? I heard he got his ass beat by. I didn't see the fight. But what else? What else? Let's talk about Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Let's cook on Vasyl Lomachenko. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all smash on the like button. Let me check the likes before I even cook on this Vasyl Lomachenko shit, because like I said, we don't want to waste no time. I'm gonna get straight to it, but let me see what these likes is looking like. Let me see what the likes is looking like. Yeah, y'all got to get the likes up. Smash on the like. Get the likes up. Get the likes up so I can cook on this Vasyl Lomachenko. Because I really, Stacy Payton, I appreciate you. Yeah, we got to have way more likes than that. You know what I'm saying? The likes ain't adding up. But yeah, because, so I could cook on this. This Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Like I said, a lot of people were shocked. Even the haters of Vasyl Lomachenko were shocked about this fight. Y'all was shocked. I was myself. I ain't gonna lie. But get the likes up. Yeah, y'all get the likes up. Continue to get the likes up, because it's a lot of y'all in the building that ain't hit the like. You feel me? It's a lot of y'all in the building that act like it's a problem to hit the like button, and I don't understand why you can't hit the like button. Like, what is the problem? Let me see. Hit the like button, y'all. Get the likes up. I mean, it's easy to hit. Even if you're watching me on TV, you can still hit the like button, because I watch, I watch, some of my brothers on TV, and the first thing I do is scroll my little arrow on the TV and bam, hit the like, and it's easy. Ricky Williams, what's happening with it? The winning team in the building. My man Cali Fire in the building. Dub Right Side in the building. My man Randall Bivens say society is changing. The ladies, he said, those ladies went balls out. These days, when you see a woman bruised up, you can't assume she in an abusive. He said, you can't assume she in an abusive relationship. Yeah, them women put on. Like I said, the women still above the men when it comes to the show that they put on, a couple weeks ago. You dig what I'm saying? So let's talk about Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Everybody know that I'm a Vasyl Lomachenko fan. You feel me? I'm a Vasyl Lomachenko fan. I like, he made me a fan. I didn't like Vasyl Lomachenko when he came in the sport. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't like how they was hyping him and all that shit. And then when he fought Gary Russell, I put a lot of money on Gary Russell and Vasyl Lomachenko. I said, God damn, he just beat Gary Russell, right? So he kind of started making me a fan. I'm like, man, this dude, I got to watch out for him. He really a force to be reckoned with, what I saw him do to Gary Russell. Then he made Nicholas Walters quit. And at that point in time, that's when he made me a fan of him. He made me a fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you making all these motherfuckers sit on a stool and not even want to come out. So, yeah, I'm a Vasyl Lomachenko fan. He hasn't done, like, I agree with a lot of people how ESPN try to carry out the narrative that he's the greatest thing in the world, how they want to act like that he don't have no L on his record and all that shit that he do, right? But at the end of the day, I can look at what ESPN does and it ain't him. That's not him doing that. So I also met him. He's a cool dude. Met him at a fight before. I don't have, like I said, I don't have nothing against him. I like him. I like his skills in the ring, always has. But I thought that he was going to go out there and beat the shit out of Jermaine Ortiz. I thought he was going to make Jermaine Ortiz look like an amateur, right? I thought once Vasyl Lomachenko got warmed up, he was going to go and be able to do whatever he wanted to do against Jermaine Ortiz. Right? But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. And when I first watched the fight, I was I can't say I was mad because I picked Vasyl Lomachenko to win. I put him on a parlay ticket of mine, right? So I was glad that they gave him a decision, but then I was mad at the same time because I felt that they robbed Jermaine Ortiz. I thought that Vasyl Lomachenko had lost the fight, right? And I told Money Brown, I said, Money, I said, Lomachenko lost that fight, bro. I said, Lomachenko lost that fight. He didn't win that fight. And Money said, for real? He's like, man, I got to go back and watch it again. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to go back and watch it, but Lomachenko, he lost that fight, right? So last night, and I was kind of, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of upset because I'm watching the card, right, when I'm watching the fight, and I'm hearing how Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley and everybody, right, that's announcing the fight, anything that Vasyl Lomachenko, oh man, look, uppercut by Vasyl Lomachenko. Oh man, good right hand. Look at Lomachenko. Lomachenko this and Lomachenko that and Lomachenko this and look at Lomachenko, right? And then everything that Jermaine Ortiz is doing, they're trying to downplay it. But I'm looking at the fight and I'm like, I don't need them to tell me what's going on because I see what's going on. And I see, you know, Jermaine Ortiz, he's doing a whole lot. He's giving Vasyl Lomachenko a whole lot of problems. He basically nullified what Vasyl Lomachenko does to confuse his opponents. He uses his footwork, right? He steps to the side and he gets you out of position, and then he's in position to get his offense off, right? But I saw that Jermaine Ortiz's footwork was able to keep up. I saw that Jermaine Ortiz's footwork was able to keep up with Vasyl Lomachenko. Every time Vasyl Lomachenko tried to turn Jermaine Ortiz was right there with him. He was stepping with him every time, right? He was more active than Vasyl Lomachenko. And, you know, during the first half of the fight, Jermaine Ortiz was winning the fight. He was beating Vasyl Lomachenko, right? And so, like I said, before I watched it again, before I watched the fight again, I said, man, Jermaine Ortiz, he got robbed. I thought he won the fight. But mind you, at the same time, I'm trying to watch, you know, what's going on with Jake Paul. I'm in my house making drinks before we go out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing a lot of things at the same time, trying to watch the fight with Lomachenko. So, like I said, initially, I said he got robbed. I went back yesterday, you know, and I watched the fight over again. I watched the Jermaine Ortiz and Vasyl Lomachenko fight over again. And I scored every round. Round by round, I paused it and I wrote my score, who I thought won the fight. And I had it. When I rewatched it, I had it 115 to 113 for Vasyl Lomachenko. So he did win the fight, 115 to 113. Now, the problem I have is that some of those scorecards that the judges had was ridiculous. One judge had Jermaine Ortiz only winning 3 rounds in that whole fight. So that let me know that the judges had their scorecards predetermined for Vasyl Lomachenko before any fighter even stepped in the ring. They already had their scorecards done. Now, what lost the fight for me, right? What lost the fight for Jermaine Ortiz for me is that if you go to the second half of the fight, right, from round, let me see, I gave Jermaine Ortiz round 8, but then he lost round 9, 10, 11, and 12. Jermaine Ortiz, he lost 4 rounds in a row, right? Now, and then, so he lost 7, round 7, won round 8, and then lost 9, 10, 11, and 12. So Jermaine Ortiz, he kind of wore down, and he wore down, you know what I'm saying, during the second half of the fight. And that's what, you know, won the fight for Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko, he didn't slow down. He kind of picked it up. Also, although Jermaine Ortiz still, you know, was putting in work in spots, he was still putting in work in spots, but he lost the fight that he could have won. His conditioning lost him the fight. You know what I'm saying? His conditioning lost him the fight. You know what I'm saying? He lost the majority of all the rounds on the back end of the scorecards. And so that's what, when I went and rewatched it, that's what I saw. You know, but it was 115 to 113, very close. One of those rounds could have been either way. One of those rounds could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if it was 115 to 113, it was that close. So if Jermaine Ortiz, if I had gave Jermaine Ortiz one of those swing rounds, well, he could have had a draw. So that fight was that close. Ain't no way that Omega Red, that Lomachenko won that fight 118 to 110. It ain't no way. The fight was close. Like I said, I had it 115 to 113, and I went and I watched it twice. Glove Up Boxing coach, you don't know shit about boxing if you say that he won the first 7 rounds. And like I said, I was mad because I thought Jermaine Ortiz got robbed until I went and sat down and watched the fight again. Now, I challenge you. We can get on here because we're not finna do that. I know that you don't like Vasyl Lomachenko. I know that you can't stand Vasyl Lomachenko. But to say that he won the first 7 rounds, he didn't win the first 7 rounds. I gave round 1 and 2 to Jermaine Ortiz. Round 3, Lomachenko won. Round 4, Jermaine Ortiz won. Round 5 and 6, Lomachenko won. Round 7, Jermaine Ortiz won. And then, like I said, and then round 8, I had Jermaine Ortiz winning. Round 9, I had Vasyl Lomachenko. 10, Vasyl Lomachenko won. Round 11, Vasyl Lomachenko won. And round 12, Vasyl Lomachenko won. But yeah, but it was a close ass fight. Tony Boswell says, much respect, everything boxing. Chat stopped. He said, yeah, what's happening with it? He said he had it 7-5 Lomachenko. Exact same score I had it. Exact same score I had it. 7-5 Vasyl Lomachenko. That's the exact same score I had it, Tony. And much respect to you. Yeah, I mean, like I said, coach, you can't tell me that you sat down and scored the fight and watched the fight, right? Very closely, round and round, and then had Jermaine Ortiz winning 7 rounds in a row. He didn't win. It's just not like he did. But like I said, yeah, it was a very close fight. Now, if anybody say that they had it a draw or they had Jermaine Ortiz edging it out by 1 round, I don't have no problem with that. Because, like I said, one of the rounds that I gave to Vasyl Lomachenko, it was a close round. It was a close round, but Jermaine Ortiz lost the fight on the back end of the fight. You know what I'm saying? He lost the fight on the back end. He got gassed. You know, he looked very good on the front end of the fight, the first half of the fight. He was able to, like I said, every time Vasyl Lomachenko stepped, he stepped right with Vasyl Lomachenko. He was right there. Every time Vasyl Lomachenko turned, he turned right with him. He right there with him. You know what I'm saying? And he studied Vasyl Lomachenko very well, studied him well, knew what he was going to do when he was going to do it. And he nullified Vasyl Lomachenko's offense. But like I said, Ortiz, he couldn't keep up with it. He couldn't keep up with it. He couldn't keep up with what he was doing for 12 rounds, and you need to do that. Now, one thing that I saw, right, that you might say that, you know, Vasyl Lomachenko was exposed. I'm going to tell y'all this. When I talked about this last week, I said Vasyl Lomachenko is not in his prime anymore, right? I also said that I think that Devin Haney would beat Vasyl Lomachenko, but I said that it would be a very tough fight for Devin Haney. What I saw last Friday night, even though Vasyl Lomachenko been out of the ring, right? Even though Vasyl Lomachenko has been out of the ring a year, I saw that Vasyl Lomachenko, if you can nullify what he does with his footwork, right? If you could be right there and turn with him and move and take the same angles that he does to stop him from confusing you with his angles, he really don't have no other adjustments that he does, right? And now he's not as quick as he used to be. He doesn't have the reflexes that he used to have. You see what I'm saying? He's older. I think Lomachenko is 36 years old now? Age has caught up to him. Age has caught up to him. Plus, he's fighting in a division where these guys are way bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? You seen Devin Haney get in the ring, and Devin Haney made Vasyl Lomachenko look like a midget. Now, Vasyl Lomachenko, he's 34. He'll be 35 in a few months. So he's almost 35 years old. But he's not in his prime no more. You feel me? He'll be 35 in a few months, but he's not in his prime no more. Can nobody show me a fighter that's in their prime at 34 going on 35 years old? Floyd Mayweather wasn't in his prime at 35 years old. Now, he probably one of the fighters that was closest to it still at that age. But what I saw is that Vasyl Lomachenko, if you can nullify what he does when he uses his angles and you could keep up with him with his footwork and then you got some speed and you have athleticism like Jermaine Ortiz did, he can't really make the adjustments needed. He don't have a plan B and a plan C. He only knows how to fight one way. That's because I'm looking for him to make an adjustment versus Jermaine Ortiz, and he really never did. The only thing that happened is Jermaine Ortiz, he slowed down. And y'all hit my like button. If you're in the building, hit the like button. It's free to hit the like button. It's free. Also, I said to myself, right? You got to be honest with yourself, whether you like a fighter or whether you don't, right? I'm going to keep it 100 at all times. I said to myself, if Vasyl Lomachenko comes in and fights Devin Haney, how much better can he look? Because, once again, he's had a year layoff. He was over there in the war, and during the time that he was over there, in the war or whatever, he wasn't training like that. He couldn't train. But how much better can he look? At 35 years old, he'll be 35 if he gets in the ring with Devin Haney. And I said to myself, he can be a little sharper. He can look a little better, but not that much better. Like, I don't see him getting in the ring, right, and just making a night and day change from what we saw against Jermaine Ortiz. So with that being said, I definitely now see Devin Haney beating him. And Vasyl Lomachenko, he don't show me the power at 135 that he did at 130 and at 126. He don't show me the power to get Devin Haney up out of there. He don't show me the power to cause Devin Haney to stay off of, he just don't. Devin Haney, he's quick. His feet are quick. He got a lot of hand speed, good defense. And he also, right, one thing Devin Haney also does, he got a hell of a jab. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I think that Vasyl Lomachenko will get inside on Devin Haney? Yeah, but he don't have enough power. He don't have enough pop to hurt Devin Haney like that. You know what I'm saying? He got enough pop to get Devin Haney's respect, but he don't have enough pop to hurt Devin Haney like that, not at 135 pounds. So I don't see, I can't see Vasyl Lomachenko beating Devin Haney at this point, at this stage in his career. I really don't. Devin Haney got the size advantage. He should be stronger than Vasyl Lomachenko. He's younger, got youth on his side, got a better jab. And Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Vasyl Lomachenko, one thing about Vasyl Lomachenko, I noticed that he can go to the body well, but he really don't go to the body a lot at all. Like, he don't use his ability to go to the body a lot at all. His thing is just angles and giving you a quick 1-2. 1-2 straight down the middle. You know what I'm saying? So I think somebody like with the athleticism and the feet like Devin Haney, they can keep up with Devin Haney can keep up with Vasyl Lomachenko like we saw Jermaine Ortiz do, but Devin Haney is a better fighter than Jermaine Ortiz all around the board. And no disrespect to Jermaine Ortiz, because I think that Jermaine Ortiz, he's going to be a solid fighter at 135. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be a solid fighter at 135. And so now he showed us that he's somebody to look out for at 135. But I don't see Vasyl Lomachenko beating Devin Haney. And I think that Devin Haney, Bill Haney, they licking their chops right now from what they seen, because like I said, he can be better than he was against Jermaine Ortiz. But how much better can Vasyl Lomachenko get? Nah. And showing me that you can't really make adjustments, change up your game. Like, I want to see you make adjustments, right? If what you're doing is not working, I want to see you try to use a jab, try to stab a jab to the body. You know what I'm saying? And all you doing is the same thing over and over. I'm not really trying to see that. You need to, make adjustments. I need to see you make adjustments. Try to take the fight on the inside. He just don't make enough adjustments for me. He just used to being able to fight the same way, and it usually worked, because most fighters had never seen a fighter with the footwork like a Vasyl Lomachenko, and a fighter that could take the different angles and be in a perfect position to get their offense off, where you can't get no offense off, where you have to be on the defense, right? At all times. Most fighters don't see a fighter that can do all of that. So they already, confused out the gate versus Vasyl Lomachenko. But yeah, now people know what to look for. And they know what he has difficulty doing. But yeah. Y'all hit the like button. Let's see where the likes is at. Because I do think that Devin Haney should definitely take the fight. But if we going to sit around here talking about Devin Haney is ducking if he decides not to take the fight, I think it's clear that Devin Haney ain't ducking Vasyl Lomachenko. I think the only way that he don't take the fight is if he can't make the weight. And you can't expect him to try to kill himself to make the weight. You feel what I'm saying? So if he don't take the fight, we know it's because strictly he can't make the weight. Other than that, look forward to seeing Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko. And I definitely got Devin Haney beating Vasyl Lomachenko. And I'm a fan of both fighters. And I'm looking forward to seeing Jermaine Ortiz back in the ring. Knockout Boxing says, as long as Devin Haney jabs and grabs Loma to keep him from getting inside, he will get a UD. But see, that's one thing about Devin Haney we know. We know that he kind of got different ways that he can fight. He can either, jab your fucking head off all night and then grab you to keep you from getting your offense off, or he can kind of pick you apart from the outside. Using his jab, athleticism, his quick hand speed. He can do that because he did, but we're not going, because he did it to George Kambosos. Now, Vasyl Lomachenko and George Kambosos, two different type of fighters, but I'm just saying that Devin Haney, he got multiple ways that he can go in there and fight, and he showed that. So I don't think we need to question that. My man Randall Bivens says, in that super chat, he says, like Pacquiao, Lomo advantages is his stance. If you place your lead foot outside his, you have a chance. Yeah, if you place your lead foot out and you got to turn with him. Every time he uses an angle, you got to take that same angle and be right there with him. But if you don't have no feet, he's going to make you look stupid all night. Zenith360 says, Loma need to rematch Ortiz. That's what they say when any black fighter in a fight that's competitive. Yeah, but we know that he ain't rematching no Jermaine Ortiz. We know that ain't happening. Tony Boswell says, I think it's clear Devin beats Loma. Nothing to prove. Ortiz just showed us what that fight looks like. Time to move up, bigger and better things. Yeah, you could, like I said, you could look at it like that too. Like, okay, we already saying that, you know what it is, but we still need to see the fight. Because even though Jermaine Ortiz did it, we still need to see Devin Haney do it. And I think that Devin Haney can do it. And I you know, I put money on it that Devin Haney wins that fight. Box Talk says, everything boxing. What would you say if I told you I don't think Loma has to actually beat Devin to get the win against Devin? Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think that, you know, from what I saw, right, this past weekend, I think that Devin Haney can win clear enough. I think that he could get a clear enough win to get a decision on the scorecards, right? I don't think that the fight is close as I did before I saw this fight Saturday night. And I also expect Lomachenko to come in and look better than what he did Saturday night, but how much better? But how much better is he going to look? You know what I'm saying? How much better is he going to look? Let's say he looked 15% better. Is that enough to beat Devin Haney? I don't think so. But like I said, I also don't want to disrespect Jermaine Ortiz because Jermaine Ortiz has showed throughout his whole career that he can fight. We thought Jermaine Ortiz was going to go in there and look like a Rudy Poo. But if you look back at his career, Jermaine Ortiz can fight. And I was wrong. I was wrong about him. I think a lot of us was wrong. I just, you know, I can admit that I was wrong. Big Dose 513 says, just a little something for what you do. Salute, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate anybody that come in here and show love and support to the channel, man, to keep the channel up and running. Chris the Plumber says, everybody forgets that Loma was out for 10 months. He was in war. Common people. I've been saying that the whole time. I just clearly said that, yeah, he's going to look better because he's not going to be off a layoff, but how much better is he going to look? We know what he does. Like, he does what he does. He don't really make a lot of adjustments. It's just most fighters that get in the ring with Vasyl Lomachenko, they're not used to seeing a fighter be able to do the things that he does. So how can you prepare for that in sparring? You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney is young enough, athletic enough, quick enough to be able to keep up with him. And Devin Haney, like I said, and one thing you've seen about Jermaine Ortiz, he was in shape, but he wasn't in 12-round shape. He wasn't in good enough shape to keep up with Vasyl Lomachenko and do what he was doing for 12 rounds. We know that Devin Haney have a lot of issues making the weight. But, hey, I think that Devin Haney going to make sure that he come in 15-round shape. So, you know, because we know that a lot of people lose the fight to Vasyl Lomachenko on the back end. Vasyl Lomachenko was able to, you know, win rounds on the back end against Teofimo Lopez when he couldn't do it on the front end, when Teofimo Lopez slowed down. But one thing about Teofimo Lopez in that Vasyl Lomachenko fight, he really never slowed down that much. Everything that Lomachenko did, he had an answer to. So, yeah,
My man Zenith360 says Lomo don't deserve a title shot. He needs to run it back with Ortiz, and Shakur should get the shot. His performance proved he more worthy than Loma, and Haney versus Shakur a better fight. I mean, I agree with you 1,000%. You feel me? I agree. That's the fight that I want to see. I want to see Haney versus Shakur. But I mean, we could say this and we could talk about the shit till our face turn blue, but we know what Bob Arum gonna do. The only way that you don't see Vasyl Lomachenko and Devin Haney fighting is one, Devin Haney move up, or Vasyl Lomachenko decides not to take the fight because he don't feel that he's ready yet. Other than that, we're gonna see. That's the fight we're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's the fight that we're gonna see. Oh shit. But now, right, we can see that fight, and then we could get Jermaine Ortiz versus Shakur Stevenson. That's a solid fight. Let them, if they fight, if Vasyl Lomachenko and Devin Haney fight, make Jermaine Ortiz and Shakur Stevenson also. It make that fight right around the same time. You know, within, you know, the same month of each other. That'll be dope. Knockout. But yeah, those scorecards, you feel what I'm saying? Those scorecards for Lomachenko, like, how can you say that Jermaine Ortiz only won 3 rounds? They had, you know what I'm saying? One of the judges had it 9 rounds to 3 for Vasyl Lomachenko. That shit was ridiculous. Zenith360 says Ortiz never had a 12-round fight before, only 8 to 10. Yeah, and it showed. It showed in the, you know, the back end of the fight. Knockout said Lomo definitely has the business of boxing on his side, I admit. And Knockout said Keon wants Lomo versus Shakur because he wants Lomo's scalp on Shakur's resume before Devin's. Nah, I don't like. Nah, not necessarily. I want Lomachenko versus Devin Haney because I think that Devin Haney deserved a Lomachenko fight more than Shakur Stevenson do, because Devin Haney been at the weight longer and he been calling for Vasyl Lomachenko for a long time. Now, also Shakur been calling for him, but you know, I think that Devin Haney deserved it, and he's the undisputed champion. So give it to Devin Haney. He deserved it more. But I wouldn't have a problem with either fight at the end of the day. And yeah, my man G5 Gabe in the building, the winning team in the building once again. He said, smash my bro like button. It's free. Yeah, like it's free. It's free. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost nothing to hit the like button. That shit free. And most things in life ain't free, but the like button is free. Smash on the like button. I know it's easy to forget, but I'm telling you. So you can't say you forgot if I'm right here telling y'all to smash the like button. But I'm going to go ahead and drop some links. If some of y'all want to get up here, you know, and cook, I'm going to send some emails out. Y'all want to get up here and cook before we wrap it up, because I want to talk about these news going around about Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. You know, that's been the news. Blue Blood Sports TV. He said on his channel that Errol Spence and Keith Thurman is already confirmed. They're going to be announcing Errol Spence and Keith Thurman this week. This ain't from Everything Boxing. This ain't from me. This is from Blue Blood. So, I mean, you know, Blue Blood, he's pretty confident, right? He sounds pretty confident that that's the fight that they're going to announce this week. He said he already basically got inside information. He knows 1,000% facts that Keith Thurman and Errol Spence are fighting next in December, and this announcement will happen this week. Now, Errol Spence also came out and he said that he has a big announcement coming real soon. So
I sent out some links to y'all. If you want to get up here and cook on this, y'all can grab the link. If not, I'm gonna stay right here and I'm gonna cook on this shit myself. So Tony Boswell said, I told y'all it was Thurman next. Now, I can see that fight happening. I can see if Blue Blood is that, I'm gonna believe Blue. I'm gonna believe Blue, right? I believe Blue Blood if he's that adamant, right? If he's that adamant and he said that it's 100% fact, it's happening. Blue Blood got a lot of connections, as we already know. He know a lot of shit that be going on behind the scenes. And so let's talk about Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. I've been on record for a long time, and I said, look, I got you, Upper Echelon. I'll send you one. You ain't been in here in a minute, man. I ain't seen you around. Hold on. I got you right now. Hold on. I just sent one to you. But I've been on record, right? A lot, saying that I thought, that Errol Spence should fight Keith Thurman. I said if Errol Spence stay at, this is in the past I've said this, right? This is in the past before this Terrence Crawford in negotiations, started and everything. I said I thought that Errol Spence should fight Keith Thurman. In my whole stance on Errol Spence fighting Keith Thurman, right? I said, look, Errol Spence is saying that he don't want to fight Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman didn't give him no chance, right? Keith Thurman was acting like a hoe when Errol Spence wanted to fight with him. But what I also did is I ran back the rest. I ran down the timeline. When Keith Thurman unified with Danny Garcia in 2017, right? Keith Thurman unified with Danny Garcia in 2017. Errol Spence didn't even have a belt yet. Errol Spence wasn't even the IBF champion. Errol Spence didn't get his first title until a couple months after Keith Thurman had already unified with Danny Garcia. These are facts, right? So at that point in time, I'm looking at Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, and I'm saying, well, Keith Thurman had a point. Why would you fight somebody that don't have a belt and to pass up a unification bout? Where do they do that at? Like, real talk. Where does a fighter have a chance to go into a unification bout with another big name fighter to fight somebody that don't even have a belt yet? So that didn't make sense. Also, you go down the timeline. After Keith Thurman fought Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman was out of the sport for 2 years with injuries. He never came back. You know what I'm saying? He was out of the sport for 2 years with injuries. When Keith Thurman came back, he said, this is a get back year for me. I'm not going to fight Errol Spence this year, but I'm going to fight him next year. He told us what he was doing. So I can't really get mad at a man that's telling you straight up and down, because he could have pretended like, oh yeah, I'll fight him, and then made a whole bunch of excuses when it was time to fight him, like, oh, the money ain't good, this ain't happening. He told us straight out. Well, I think that Errol Spence is the top dog. I think that Errol Spence is the best fighter at 147 besides myself. That's a fight that I want to save for next year. I'm not going to fight him this year. This year is a get back year. So he went and he had a tune-up fight with what's his name? Riverside Rocky.
Josecito, bro.
Josecito Lopez. He had a tune-up fight with Josecito Lopez, Riverside Rocky, right? He won that fight clearly, but I believe he almost got stopped in that fight, one of them rounds, right? He didn't look too good in that fight, right? After that, everybody was calling for him to fight Errol Spence. You had your tune-up fight Errol Spence. He told us once again, I'm not fighting Errol Spence this year. We're going to fight next year. It's a tune-up year for me. And then he went quiet, and then it popped back up that he was fighting Manny Pacquiao. Now, do you fight Errol Spence or you fight Manny Pacquiao? At that point in time, everybody was trying to fight Manny Pacquiao. Everybody was. Anybody would have took a fight with Manny Pacquiao over Errol Spence at that point in time. Whether it was Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, anybody. All of them, because Manny Pacquiao is the name that everybody want to get on their record. This is a fact, right? So he fought Manny Pacquiao. After that, he took a 3-year layoff. And he didn't come back until February. So when I go back and I look at the timeline, it's like, okay, well, I wasn't really that pissed. Now, so that was one reason I wasn't really that mad, right? That he didn't fight, that they didn't fight, because if you look at the point, I was mad because you hear all this shit on YouTube and you kind of run with the narrative, the ducking narrative, but he was hurt. The man was out injured, right? And so another reason that Errol Spence says that he didn't give me the chance. Well, I always said that Danny Garcia nor Sean Porter wanted to give Errol Spence the chance. This is a fact. Neither one of them wanted to give Errol Spence a chance. Until Errol Spence was that dude, and he was looking down on them to where they was begging him for a fight because they wanted a payday. He fought him. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand Sean Porter because he fought Sean Porter because, hey, well, Sean Porter is the WBC champion, so of course I'm going to fight him. But Sean Porter, before that, didn't want to give him a chance until Sean Porter saw that Errol Spence put 50,000 asses in the seat with Mikey Garcia. And they said, oh, damn, we need to get some of this money. If it wasn't for that, Sean Porter would have never gave Errol Spence a chance leading up to that fight. Because before that, Sean Porter was saying everything but I'm willing to fight Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? It was a rumor going around that Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and Keith Thurman, they was all basically in cahoots to freeze Errol Spence out at one point in time, right? Let's go to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia definitely didn't want to fight Errol Spence. Was ducking that man to the fullest. He even went so far to say, you know what? Everybody want to see me fight him so bad. Want one of y'all fans get in the ring and fight him. Want one of y'all fight him. So I said, later on down the line, when Danny Garcia didn't have really nothing to give, he still fought Danny Garcia. So I said, you know what? With that being said, he should still go and fight Keith Thurman. And you know what I'm saying, clear the slate. That means that you really, really ran through every fighter of that generation. You beat all of them. So I didn't have a problem with the Keith Thurman fight. You feel what I'm saying? I never had a problem with Keith Thurman, but he let us know that Keith Thurman just really get under his skin and he just didn't like Keith Thurman. That's what it was. It wasn't, I don't think it was so much that Keith Thurman didn't fight him. Because all of them was on the same page with Errol Spence. They always ducking him. I think it was just that he cool with Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? He liked Danny Garcia. He's hung out with Danny Garcia outside of boxing. You know what I'm saying? With Sean Porter, him and Sean Porter were cordial at one point in time. He liked Kenny Porter. Him and Kenny Porter were tight like that. And Sean Porter had a belt. He had the WBC strap. So why wouldn't you fight Sean Porter if it's strap season? You feel what I'm saying? But you got Keith Thurman. You don't like him because he just corny to you and he get under your skin. So you like, man, fuck him. And now he don't have no belt either. So you like, man, it double fuck him. But like I said before, I said, I see him fighting Keith Thurman, but that they got to give him a lot of money to fight Keith Thurman. And I think this is what we're seeing. They're giving him a lot of money. I don't know what they're going to give him. But also, I've always said it's a big pay-per-view. It's a big pay-per-view. We know that Keith Thurman can sell a fight with his mouth. Okay. We know that Keith Thurman can sell a fight way better than goddamn Terrence Crawford. Now, hold on. Don't get my words twisted up because I know how a lot of y'all niggas do. Oh, you saying that Keith Thurman and Errol Spence a better fight than Terrence Crawford? Because that's where they're going to try to go, right? No, I'm saying that Keith Thurman know how to sell a fight a lot better than Terrence Crawford do. with his mouth, right? And this is when in the lead up to this promotion, this fight in Dallas, Texas, that's another plus. That shit gonna be packed out because Keith Thurman gonna talk his shit. He gonna talk his smart shit. And you know what? We never seen Errol Spence fight nobody that he really just really didn't like. He liked Sean Porter. Sean Porter got under the skin a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But he liked Sean Porter. He liked Danny Garcia. When he fought Kell Brook, he didn't have a dislike with Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook was just somebody that he needed to go through to get where he needed to be. He liked Lamont Peterson. He liked your Dennis Ugas. He liked Manny Pacquiao, even though that fight didn't happen, but the build-up happened, right? So everybody we've seen Errol Spence fight, he's liked. So you never seen Errol Spence really be able to come out of his shell all the way. This is the fight that's really going to get, we're going to really learn a lot about Errol Spence in the build-up from this fight. Because I guarantee you, we're going to hear Errol Spence talk more shit than he's ever talked with any other fight because he really don't like Keith Thurman. When they have a press conference, the energy is going to be different because he really don't like Keith Thurman. And also, he told y'all that he didn't want Keith Thurman getting a payday off of him. Now Keith Thurman is going to get a payday off of him, and it's going to make him more mad. So this fight is going to sell. It's going to sell. And also what it's going to do, is going to make Terrence Crawford look even worse. Because I'm fighting Keith Thurman and you fighting motherfucking Amnesia. And then it's going to sell pay-per-views. Because like I said, people can say what they want, but at the end of the day, when the build-up for this fight starts, it's going to bring us way back to 2017. It's going to bring us wanting this fight again. It's going to bring a lot of people wanting to see if Errol Spence can stop Keith Thurman with a body shot. You know what I'm saying? It's also going to be the first time since Keith Thurman fought Manny Pacquiao that we see Keith Thurman have 2 fights in 1 year. It's also going to be the first time since maybe 2018 that we seen Errol Spence have 2 fights in 1 year. Right?
2019, but you cooking. 2019 was the last
2019,
time.
my bad. 2019, right? And so you got, oh, my bad, Box Talk. I don't know how long you've been sitting back there. My bad, Box Talk. But this fight is going to sell big numbers. Like I said, in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, it's going to sell big numbers. And my only thing is now, right? Errol Spence just told everybody, don't worry, I'm coming to backdoor Terrence Crawford. Don't worry, I'm going to spin the block on Terrence Crawford. Don't worry, I'm about to spin the block on Terrence Crawford. Meaning, y'all thought he was in the clear. I'm still on this motherfucking helmet because I'm going to go ahead and fight whoever I'm going to fight in December, and I'm going to spin the block on Terrence Crawford to try to make this fight happen again. So also, it's letting me know that whoever Terrence Crawford is fighting, and I believe Blue Blood Sports TV when he says Keith Thurman, that now we know that Terrence Crawford is staying at 147. I mean, that Errol Spence is staying at 147. And like I told y'all on Friday, if we find out he's staying at 147, we know for a fact that he's going to fight Terrence Crawford if Terrence Crawford is willing to let the fight happen. So we know what Errol Spence is doing now, and he let us know, I'm spinning the block on this bitch ass nigga. So he's not in the clear. So I think right now when the negotiations are starting, what happens when Terrence Crawford shit flops? When that Terrence Crawford shit flops because don't nobody want to see him fight Amnesia, and then Errol Spence do 300, 400, 500 plus pay-per-view buys and pack out Dallas Cowboys Stadium again. Now they go back to the goddamn negotiation table
Hey, bro.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hey, bro. I ain't gonna be on long. I just on Friday.
Hold on, bro. I'm about to go to a party. OTB, let me cook.
Hold on. I'm about to, man, my kids waiting to go trick or treat.
Okay, I'm gonna let you cook if you gotta go, but let me read this super chat. My man, Lord to the Game Boxing Talk, Kwame E says this fight bigger than David Avocado. Salute, way bigger. It's not even a question. This bigger. And y'all hit the like button. Everybody in the building, make sure that y'all hit the like button because one thing, the like button is free. And go ahead, OTB, real quick, and then so we can let my brother
salute my bros, everybody up here, man. But I appreciate all of y'all. I hit 1,000 subs on Friday, so I mean, from you being the first person who walked me in this shit, Key, you walked me in this shit, bro. So when that's an accomplishment for me, you pat yourself on the back as well, bro. You kept me motivated the whole time, man. So I mean, coming from my first day in this shit, man, and I couldn't have nobody up here other than Knockout who walked me through the whole way, Box Talk who offered his film for me to give y'all what I give to y'all. So on behalf from OTB to y'all, man, to my brothers, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate
congratulations again, bro.
Get there. I couldn't have did it,
man. I love to hear that. I love to hear that, man.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, and we need to continue to support OTB, you know what I'm saying, so he can continue to rise, man. I love to hear that, man. And it didn't take you that long. Like I told you, bro. I always told you, keep grinding, man. It didn't take you that long. And I'm going to tell you, man, it took you got to 1,000 way faster than I did, real talk, way faster.
Hey, and I say I'm glad you said that because if y'all, who help build this industry and help, you understand, inspire people like me to even walk into this shit. If y'all don't go through the speed bumps that y'all go through, on the way, then shit, we can't do what we do, and we ain't even motivated to do so. So, all of the speed bumps, all of the battles you fought on the way, bro, you done ushered a whole nother channel in, and I can appreciate that from brother to brother, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you, man.
I'm out. Let me get these kids tricking.
Okay.
Kill me.
OTB, take it easy, bro. Real shit.
Enjoy.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, bro. Hey, for real, man. Hey, words can't express, bro.
Really, man.
Have fun, bro. Have fun.
My man, Knockout. I know you dying to get in on this.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Knockout, aka Pirate De La Ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Keon, everything, boxing, everybody on the panel, and all the people in the chat. Smash the man like button. And look, you covered everything. And right at the tail end, just to bring a different perspective, that's what I wanted to talk about. For me, I'm cool with the Keith Thurman fight because that main thing you said at the end, Errol Spence said he won't spin the block for Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. He said he's trying to spin the block and he's still trying to go for undisputed. Well, a big fight like Keith Thurman is going to make undisputed even bigger. And what you can't do because of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, they already said they going to mandate Errol fight fucking Keith Thurman. Like, he going to be his mandatory and shit. So if you Errol, you got to make sure you take whatever fight, whether it's standing on this, Keith Thurman, boots in this, whichever fight, whichever sanctioning body say they going to strip your ass if you don't fight them, that's who you got to fight. And right now it's looking like Keith Thurman, maybe standing on this might take some more step aside if they let him be the co-main event or whatever, since Keith Thurman is a bigger fight. So he need to go ahead and fight Keith Thurman because what you don't want to do is fight somebody and then you vacate that belt. Then I guarantee you Bud Crawford ass going to come running talking about he want to fight for his WBO in a vacant WBC belt against somebody like Keith Thurman. You got to get that man nowhere to go. And what I would say to Earl, if you're going to spin the block on Terrence Crawford, you send his ass an offer. And when you send his ass an offer, you get that man 24 to 48 hours to sign that bitch, and then you just move on if he don't sign that hoe. But I'm happy that he still wants to fight. I'm happy. So now that we know that he wants to fight, we know his next fight is going to be at 147. So that eliminates guys like Fundora. That eliminates all these other 154 pounders that we were talking about. And now realistically, we just down to Montes Stanionis and Keith Thurman. And for me, one big fights, one somebody that I support in Errol Spence to continue to fight the best. I prefer Keith Thurman over Stanionis. He's more proven. He's a former unified champion. He's the name that's going to ring bells on Errol Spence's resume far more than the Stanionis would. And so, I'm with the Keith Thurman fight. I always wanted him to fight Keith Thurman because we talked about this, Keith, just off of it being a sport, bro. If we're going to get boxing back to being a sport and shit, Keith Thurman is still a good fight. He's still a viable opponent, and he's some unfinished business for you. And I just can't support fighters Even if I rock with him, I can't support you not fighting somebody because of some shit that they did to you in the past or some shit. Like, at the end of the day, if it's a good fight and that's what's available to you and he's number one in the sanctioning body and you could lose your belt if you don't fight him, bro, go ahead and fight Keith Thurman and dust his ass off if you can dust his ass off and move on with your career, bro. And like I said, I'm happy that he trying to fight Bud, bro. He letting everybody know that he going right for Bud after this shit. And keep yourself on the same timeline. I'm sure we'll get this fight in either December or January. Bud is supposedly fighting in December, and then they can fight in April or May, and everybody be on the same timeline. Because I think Bud's just trying to catch Errol slipping if you want to fight him at all. I don't even think you want to fight him no more, but he's trying to go in as the more active fighter, the guy that's fresh off of a fight, trying to make EJ come in off of a layoff. And it's smart for Errol to just go ahead and take this fight. Because at the end of the day, I don't usually give predictions early and shit, but shit, bro, Errol gonna walk through Keith, bro. If that's the fight that we get, he gonna walk through that, man, dog, badly, bro. Like really, really badly. Do Keith all kind of wrong in that fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of performance I anticipate that we'll see. And I just hope he don't do him so bad that Terrence Bud Crawford get even more scary and shit, bro. Like this man out here looking like a whole duck and a whole sucker. But shout out to Errol for it looks like a good backup plan. And I'm cool with whoever. Like, ain't no way that Terrence Bud Crawford can fight David, Advil, aspirin, anesthesia, amnesia, avocado, alligator, and shit. He can't fight him, and then I'm gonna get mad at Errol if it's Keith Thurman, or I'm gonna get mad at Errol if it's Iman Stanionis, because both of those fighters are better fighters than what we getting from Terrence Bud Crawford. And I know for a fact that this ain't Errol's first choice. Like, everybody got to keep that in mind. Terrence Bud Crawford, his first choice was David Avanesian. He had two offers on the goddamn table. He had an offer to fight Errol and an offer to fight David Avanesian. He chose David Avanesian. Errol is fighting either Keith Thurman or Iman Stanionis as a backup plan because the fight that he wanted fell through. He wasn't negotiating with nobody else. He wasn't looking to make no other fight. So with that being said, I'm cool with either one of them. But if you're looking to make that big money, if you're looking to get the biggest bag possible, if you're looking for a fight that's pay-per-view worthy, then shit, you got to go for the Keith Thurman fight. Because if you put him standing on this on pay-per-view with Errol Spence, shout out to Errol, it might still do 200. You know what I'm saying? He'll still sell out Dallas Cowboys, stadium and shit, but it ain't gonna sell nearly as much as a Keith Thurman fight would sell with Errol Spence. So you gotta go get that big bag, bro. Go get that big bag, and I think he gonna watch Keith. So I'm for the fight. I always been for the fight, and I can't wait to see it. But shout out to my brother Keon. Shout out to Box Talk and everybody else in the building, man. I gotta run these kids out here to this party. Y'all boys be light, be easy, have fun tonight, and we'll catch y'all next time. But Keith, salute you as always. And just so y'all know, I said this before, but OTB ain't the only one that owes Keon a lot. Because when I had like 20-something, 30-something subscribers, Key used to let me up on the panel. So he always showing love. He always keeping it real. So y'all subscribe to this brother, hit his like button, and shit, man. Show that man some support in that Cash App and that Super Chat, because he worked hard for us and he deserved it. Key, I appreciate you as always, bro. I'll catch y'all later. Box Talk. Peace out. And the other brother, I don't see. I see your avatar and shit. I don't see
know what that is.
That's my man, upper echelon.
It's upper echelon,
man. Shout out to you too, man, and everybody that's cooking.
Shout out, knockout.
Boxing shit, man. I'll holler at y'all later, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Well said. And before I give it to upper echelon, I just want to say that when you look at the styles, right, I think that Keith Thurman, even though I got Errol Spence stopping Keith Thurman, but I think that Keith Thurman is a more difficult fight than Stanionis, because Stanionis to me is one-dimensional. Stanionis is gonna go in there, he gonna use his defense. His defense is gonna be his fucking head and his chin, and he's gonna go in there and just try to bang on the inside the whole time with Errol Spence, and that's the wrong way to fight Errol Spence. If you think you're going to stand in there in front of Errol Spence and just bang the whole time, now, I think that Stanionis would be a more entertaining fight for the fans, but I think that Keith Thurman is the more difficult fight, because up until, Errol Spence stops Keith Thurman can fight. He got movement, he got boxing skills, he got a jab, he can crack, and you know what I'm saying? I think it's a more difficult fight than Stanionis, and no question, like Knockout said, it's the bigger fight, way bigger fight than Stanionis. So, and they ordering, so it is what it is. I've always wanted to see Keith Thurman fight Errol Spence. I always have. My man Kwame E says, salute, Keon. You've helped us all. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for always coming in and supporting the channel too, man. You know what I'm saying? Because without y'all, shit, it ain't no channel. My man Swat Jones says Thurman is a worthy opponent for wasted time. I would take it. He said, bust Thurman ass for time wasted. But we just not gonna just act like Thurman's a Rudy poop neither. Because Thurman can fight his motherfucking ass off. And y'all gotta think, man, we've been seeing Thurman coming off of all of these fucking layoffs. It ain't like that we've seen Thurman get in the ring, right? And be active. Like I said, this is the first time. This the first time since he fought Manny Pacquiao that we're gonna see an active, healthy Keith. This is the first time since he fought Danny Garcia that we actually gonna see an active, healthy Keith Thurman. Because when he went and fought Manny Pacquiao, he was injured in that Manny Pacquiao fight, but he took it because he wanted the money. We know that he had major hand surgery after Manny Pacquiao, so we can't look over Keith Thurman and act like that he a fucking Rudy poop. Keith Thurman ain't never been no Rudy poop. The only thing that we can say is, well, we seen Keith Thurman get hurt by body shots every fight. And we have seen him get hurt by a body shot every fight. But other than that, Keith Thurman, his last fight, he beat the dog shit out of Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios didn't win one round. And he wasn't supposed to, but I thought Keith Thurman should have stopped him. But that was Keith Thurman coming off a 3-year layoff. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the fight. If this is the fight that's going to happen, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And it is what it is. And Money, what's happening with it? Money Brown TV in the building. But go ahead and cook up Echelon.
First off, like the other two brothers that was up there, I like to thank Keon myself too, because he was the one that told me to shorten my name. Because when I first started out, I think my name was about a half a page long. He was like, just call it sports bar or something. But yeah, and he helped me. He let me get on this platform when I only had a couple subscribers. Even though I got it pretty quickly though, like I got 1,000 like a month with their help. But I don't care what nobody say. Really, this the fight right here. This the fight that we all wanted to see before this Terrence Crawford bullshit. Anyway, if you even remember, this was the fight: Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. This was gonna be the fight that defined the welterweight division. See, Terrence Crawford just came up there and put a bug and some smoke and mirrors in our face and made us think that's what we wanted to see. Because honestly, I think this is going to be tougher than a Crawford fight because we haven't seen Crawford fight nobody on this level, really. And Crawford's whole career is fighting tune-ups. Keith Thurman is tried and tested. And now we got a healthy Keith Thurman with power in both hands who is athletically gifted and who can get across that ring. Plus, he talked that shit. And he used to try to son Errol like Errol was a little man. And Errol couldn't stand that because Keith Thurman said he was the truth. He is swift. He is one time. The boys didn't like that shit. Keith Thurman going to sell the hell out that fight right there. Even Terrence Crawford, when he first came up, he said the person to beat at welterweight is Keith Thurman. So you can't be undisputed unless Keith Thurman's knocked out the picture. Or there's still going to be a dispute up there. Pacquiao might have did it, but but they didn't. So this right here, this clears all the ways for undisputed right here. And this puts a fine point on it. And I love that my boy EJ said he going to spin the block back around on his ops. Do you hear that? So Terrence fans can't say nothing. You ducked out the first time. Now we're going to give you this one time right here. And if you don't take the fight this time, it's going to go down in history books as you ducked. And like I said before, Terrence Crawford ain't the first ballot Hall of Famer. He not even sure he making it to the Hall of Fame. That's why he put a question mark there. That's why he keep trying to feed that shit to y'all. Jermaine Taylor, he beat Bernard Hopkins. He was daggone undisputed. He had Jeff Lacey. He had Wiki right. He had a lot of people on his resume. He didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. Just because you undisputed don't mean you're going to make it to the Hall of Fame. It's your body of work. And can't nobody say that he took out anybody 50-50 in their prime. So I think Errol fight, this is going to be his toughest fight right here. But I think he's going to make it look so easy, though, because Errol's on a whole different wavelength. But I always said Keith Thurman was a better fight than Crawford. But, you know, Errol said he wasn't going to fight the man, so I was mad that we weren't going to get it. But now, hey, boy, it's like the box guys that answered the question. We might not have got Crawford and Spence, but I think we got something a little bit better. We might didn't get the filet mignon, but we got the cowboy ribeye, and that's just as good.
And be to God, man. I seen that comment that you made in here talking about that Thurman struggled with Barrios. Man, Thurman did not struggle with no goddamn Barrios, bro. And Barrios didn't even win a round. Barrios had one good moment. Barrios had one good moment in 12 rounds, and that was when he hurt Keith Thurman to the body. But other than that, Barrios didn't even win a round. So I mean, how he struggled? I don't understand how you struggle and win 12 straight rounds. But I mean, come on, bro. Like that's just I don't even know where we getting that from. But yeah, we got to put some respect on this fight because no matter what people say, Keith Thurman, a healthy Keith Thurman, he still can fight. He still can fight. Box Talk, what's happening with it?
Not much, man. Not much. Just want to echo what everybody else was saying up here because you were one of the other channels that put me on too, man. When my channel fell off and I had to start back up from scratch, you was right there and you always lent me a helping hand. So, yeah, before I say anything, I just want to say I appreciate you and thank you for always helping me out.
I appreciate you, man. And y'all, Upper Echelon and Box Talk, y'all drop your links in the chat because people want to know, you know what I'm saying, where they could go sub. So drop y'all links in the chat.
I'll drop it right now.
Definitely.
But damn, man, it sounds like I'm gonna be the first guy up on this panel to kind of like shit on Keith a little bit. Not that I want to. I don't think he's what he once was, right? This is still a way better fight than what Crawford's given us. I'm not by any means saying it's not. I just look at Keith and I'm like, damn, well, like after the layoff, he struggled against Josecito. He lost against an old ass Pacquiao. And yeah, he beat a Mario Barrios. I think he was supposed to beat a Mario Barrios. But maybe like you said, with the activity, maybe we'll see the best version of Keith Thurman that I feel we haven't seen for a while, you know? I just think, I don't know, man. I think that layoff was his biggest mistake.
Big Dose, give me one second. Big Dose, you got to drop your email. I ain't got your email. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's old, man. I think he's done. I think the Keith Thurman that we have now is not the Keith Thurman that had hair. So maybe with the activity, like you said, maybe with the activity, we'll see the best version of Keith Thurman that I feel like we haven't seen in a while. But even if we don't, bro, like I said, it's the biggest name available, I think. And it's a way better fight than fucking, what's the dude's name? Amnesia. Like, I don't know, bro. We're talking about a guy who was a unified champion. At one point, he was the man. Whether people want to admit it or not, Keith Thurman was the guy to beat at 147. David Evanesian, I don't think he's ever won a world title. He has an EBU belt. I don't even know what that is. I think that's somewhere below the IBO or something. I don't even know what that is. So, yeah, this is a way better fight. If it is him, it sounds like that's what it's going to be. I'm not mad at it, man. He's got to fight somebody, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? We saw Keith Thurman coming off a 3-year layoff against Mario Barrios. He looked good to me in that fight. Like, I watched that fight several times. Actually, I went back and watched it on your channel, Box Talk.
But what I'm saying is even before then, what did he do?
Huh?
But what I'm saying is even before, like that 3 years doesn't help, bro. But even before then, he lost to Pacquiao.
Well, that was Pacquiao, though. And at that point in time, Pacquiao was active and he was beating everybody he was in the ring with.
Yeah, but do you remember who he was fighting too?
Yeah, he fought Adrian Bronner. And then he fought
old-ass Lucas Matisse.
But I'm saying he was active.
Yeah,
so
he was active. He was
active. Pacquiao that was active. You know what I'm saying? It was a Keith Thurman. It was a Keith Thurman that was injured. Like Keith Thurman was he told us that I didn't even have no business in that fight. And we know he was because he had surgery, a serious hand surgery, and was out for damn near 3 years. And
they didn't have testing either in that fight. So they didn't even have testing in that fight. You see Pacquiao look like he was 20 years young in that fight. Not saying that Pacquiao was using, but they didn't.
And that's a great thing you brought up because remember, Manny Pacquiao wouldn't test. They didn't have no drug testing in that goddamn fight. So and all of a sudden, Manny Pacquiao looked like he did in goddamn 2010 again.
That man
You know
threw a 5-punch combo and dropped Keith Thurman. I said, where the hell he get that from?
Right. So, like I said, man, Keith Thurman, to me, for coming off a 3-year layoff, he looked good against Mario Barrios. He dominated the fight. He beat Mario Barrios up. He beat Mario Barrios a lot easier than Gervonta Davis did. I don't even know if I want to make that comparison because Tank is a small guy, but he beat him a lot easier than Tank Davis did. He just didn't finish him. But I mean, as far as round by round, like he beat Mario Barrios up. And that was him coming off a 3-year layoff. Now, I'm not acting like Mario Barrios is something to be bragging about. You know what I'm saying? But Mario Barrios at 147 pounds, not drained. I would like to see how he look against somebody else. But that's Keith Thurman. We got to see Keith Thurman active and not injured. We haven't seen, like I said, since 2017, we haven't seen him active and not injured. So this will be the first Keith Thurman that we can honestly say is going in the ring, right? That's somewhat active, having his 2 fights in 1 year, and don't have no injuries that we know of. Don't have to go in there, holding off having a major surgery. So I think that's going to make a difference. And we've never seen Keith Thurman not look dangerous. Like every fight that he be in, he looked dangerous. You feel what I'm saying? He's looking dangerous. And like
but
I said,
that Keith Thurman right there was big.
Joe Jack, you full of shit, Joe Jack. You don't know how the fuck did Tank Davis dominate Mario Barrios?
No, he was losing.
when he was losing the fight, and Floyd Mayweather told him he was losing the fight, and Floyd Mayweather was pacing back and forth in the corner, frantic, talking about, man, you got to do this and that. He didn't fucking dominate shit, bro. Don't come in here talking about cap. Barrios obviously hurt Thurman. I just said that Mario Barrios had one good moment in the fight when he hurt Thurman to the body. Other than that, he didn't win not one round of that fight. And for you to come in here and tell me that Tank Davis, I'm capping, Tank Davis dominated the whole fight, you full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about right now. If anybody did watch Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios and sit up here and say that Tank Davis dominated the whole fight, you don't know shit about boxing. Like, you just full of shit. Like, that man didn't dominate the whole fight. That Mario Barrios and Tank Davis fight was very, very close up until Tank Davis stopped Mario Barrios. A lot of people feel that Tank Davis needed to stop it to win the fight. That don't sound like somebody that dominated to me. Like that.
Floyd told we need this. Floyd said we need this, man.
He didn't finish him, but he didn't dominate the fight. He got the finish. He got the stoppage. He didn't dominate. That's just like saying, oh man, if he dominated, then that's like me coming up here saying that Terrence Crawford dominated Sean Porter. Terrence Crawford, he dominated Sean Porter the whole fight. The fight wasn't even close. No, the fuck he didn't. The fight was close up until Terrence Crawford got the stoppage. So, bro, y'all need to stop with the bullshit, man. Like, you make your credibility talking about boxing, like your credibility, bro. Like, you losing credibility coming in here saying some shit like that, and then got the nerve enough to type at me talking about I'm capping. When you sound dumb as a motherfucker right now. You feel what I'm saying?
I think he legit got like one round, maybe.
Who? Mario Barrios?
Barrios, yeah.
Yeah, like probably the round that he hurt Keith Thurman. If he won a round. Like, you feel what I'm saying? But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, man. Y'all can go ahead and cook.
Yeah, for anybody wanting to watch that fight, it is still on my channel.
I don't have your email, Big Dose. You gotta drop me your email. I don't got your email. And I think I missed a Cash App too. My man, Mr. Motley in the Cash App, man. I appreciate you, man, for coming through, showing love, supporting the channel on that Cash App, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, Big Dose, you can get up here. I just don't have your email.
Hey, Key, I'm taking these kids Christmas, trick or treating, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. I gotta. That's why I'm not gonna be on here too much longer myself, man. I gotta go pick up my little one too.
All right, bro. Shout out to everybody. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, man. You got a real one out here.
Y'all make sure that y'all go and drop your link in the chat before you leave out Upper Echelon. So
okay, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Hey, I had text you the other day. I'm gonna text you again, though.
I ain't get no text from you, bro.
I thought I had texted you the same number.
No, I ain't get no text from you.
All right.
Yeah, holler at me.
All right, bro.
Okay, all right, bet. Salute. I don't give a fuck what the goddamn scorecards was, Joe Jack. I know that I know how to look at a fight. And if I'm looking at the fight, and you can't sit here and tell me that Tank Davis was dominating that whole fight. But I can tell you that you don't know shit that you're talking about for making a statement like that. I don't give a fuck what the scorecards say. I know that I have 2 eyeballs and I can see.
Were the judges ever gonna go against Tank anyways? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and salute to Tank. He went out there and did his thing, but he didn't dominate that fight at all.
No, but he knew he had to step it up.
He was dominating the fight.
Yeah, no, he knew he had to step it up, and luckily for him, he was able to when he knew he had to, you know. But he knew he had to.
That's the thing that impressed me about Tank, right? That's the thing that impressed me about Tank in that fight is that he showed us, damn, I can press on the gas and step it up if I have to. Now, although, you know what I'm saying, the shit that he was doing, if he fighting somebody, a different type of caliber of fighter, you know, because I think that at that point in time, not making no excuses for Mario Barrios, but in the later rounds, Mario Barrios was weighing, he was wearing down. I think a lot of that was due to him being weight drained. Like I talked to people that was, you know, in training camp with him in Houston, and they told me, matter of fact, my man,
I was in camp with him for Thurman.
Yeah, okay. And Matt, and you might be able to speak on this too, but my man 503 and I think it was Stay Ready, right? One of them was they was betting me that Mario Barrios would beat Tank, and I'm like, man, y'all, you tripping, bro? Tank gonna beat the shit out this dude. And they came back, and I know 503 line, he came back and he took his bet back because he said, nah. He said, I'm gonna take my bet back because I'm hearing that Mario Barrios is killing himself, damn near passing out, trying to make the weight in camp. Like he can't, like he's draining himself, killing himself to try to make the weight for Tank Davis at 140. He can't, like he's killing himself to try to make the weight. And they backed out of the bet because of that. I don't know if you could speak on if you heard anything about that.
Yeah, because I heard the same thing, that the plan was to move up to 147 after the fight that was before Tank, but then they got the offer for Tank at 140, so he's like, fuck it, it's a big fight, right? So he's like, I'll stay here for one more fight. So yeah, I heard the same thing, and then I was there for the Keith Thurman fight. I was in his camp because he camped out here in the Bay with Virgil Hunter.
Yeah.
At Andre Ward's gym, and that's like 40 minutes from my house. So they invited me to come out, and so I was out there a couple times. And he was talking about how he felt a lot better at that weight, right? And I was like, you know what? Maybe this guy could do it, because I don't know how much Keith has left. But there was a couple things in the camp that I didn't like that had a whole lot to do with Virgil Hunter and his age and the way where he kind of showed up for a little bit. Barrios would spar, and then Virgil Hunter would leave. And I'm like, they're not doing any training together. Like, what the fuck? Like, and I remember I got real cool with the Barrios's dad. And I asked him, like, hey, bro, like, I don't mean this like any disrespectful sort of way, but like, can I ask you, like, why you guys come out here to the Bay when I know there's a lot of talent in Texas, right? Like, why do you come out here for camp? Why don't you just stay in Texas? And he said, oh, well, we come out for Virgil, you know? And I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I'm like, damn, bro, you guys are wasting your time, because
it's basically like you seeing that Virgil wouldn't even put in the time.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, bro, this ain't it. And I think they've cut ties with Virgil since. Not because of anything. I didn't say anything. Like I said, I didn't say anything, but I knew I didn't like what I saw.
Right. Yeah, man. He looked a lot more. His body was a lot more filled out in the Keith Thurman fight. But like I said,
he felt a lot better. Yeah, he said he felt a lot better.
We gotta see. I'm just telling people, don't write Keith Thurman out on giving us on giving Errol Spence a good solid fight. I still got Errol Spence stopping him. Like, well, I have Errol Spence stopping the best version of Keith Thurman. When Keith Thurman was when people looked at Keith Thurman as still at his top, still in his prime, I had Errol Spence stopping him then. You feel what I'm saying? So even if Keith Thurman is the best version of himself, I still have Errol Spence stopping him. All I'm saying is, like, we just can't rule Keith Thurman out and act like he's some fucking Rudy poop and Errol Spence just gonna go and walk through him and he's not gonna, give Errol Spence no type of challenge. We can't look at the fight like that, because I think this is still a solid fight. And we don't know what we're gonna get from Keith Thurman, because he finally healthy. He's healthy and he's somewhat active for the first time since 2017. So,
and I expect him to do the same thing too, which is I was going to say that too. I expect Spence to get the stoppage, and that'll be a big deal because nobody's been able to do that. Nobody
stopped Keith Thurman.
Nobody's ever stopped Keith Thurman.
Hurt him to the body. They ain't never been able to stop him. He know how to. He get hurt, but he know how to hold on and survive, and he knows how to survive, and he know how to recover and come back and get working. Like, Pacquiao hurt him several times, and he came back and he put it on Pacquiao during the later rounds. And Pacquiao said that's the hardest that he been hit by Keith Thurman. He said Keith Thurman hurt him several times in that fight. EJ88 in that super chat, man, coming through, blessing me. He says, appreciate the last vid on ducking ass Bud. The whole boxing community should be calling this dude out. I'm telling you, man, and I didn't even really want to make this live. That's why I ain't even really spoke on Bud. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to make this live about Bud. I want to be focused more so on Errol Spence and, whoever he going to fight next. And, the announcement that Blue Blood made on his channel saying that, it's official, Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. And like I said, this is going to be a big fight. I believe this fight is going to be big. I believe people are going to pay to see this fight. And it's only going to get bigger with the lead up. Now, we are in November already, right? November. So they saying that this fight is going to happen mid-December. So that's and they talking about like December the 17th or some shit like that was the projected date, or 19th or whatever the date was in December. That's close to Christmas. But it helps Errol Spence and Keith Thurman because they're going to have it in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, to where even if a lot of people can't travel, you still got Texas. You know what I'm saying?
And they'll show up.
And they're going to show up.
Yep.
You still got Texas, even though a lot of people is Christmas, so less people going to be traveling. People in Texas, they still going to show up. I also believe that the pay-per-view is still going to do big numbers because what you competing with. Ain't nobody, but I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't see too many people paying to see that Terrence Crawford and goddamn amnesia shit.
No, I don't think so.
And then what else are you competing with? What else you compete? You don't have really, as far as we know right now, Errol Spence don't really have no other pay-per-views to compete with.
Yeah.
Judah Israel, Ben Israel, salute. Blue Blood says that it's confirmed 100%. That's what he's saying. But it really nothing else for him to compete with. So I think that fight is going, and I'm not talking about Omega. I'm saying boxing. It's no other boxing pay-per-views for him to compete with that we know of at this point.
Yeah, football's free.
Yeah, football free. Also, I don't know who's gonna stage it, if it's gonna be Showtime or Fox, but if they want to do bigger numbers, they should put it on Fox. They put this on Fox. I think you got another 100,000 pay-per-view buys. You put that on Fox. I think you boost that to whatever it's gonna do. I think you put it on Fox other than Showtime, you got an extra 100,000 pay-per-view buys because you got football season going on. If you do a fight camp, you got all of that shit, and Fox is free. And a lot more people gonna see, right? A lot more people gonna see the build-up of the fight on Fox than they are on Showtime. Yeah, so
you think that Boots will be on the undercard? Yeah, I think I heard that. So I think Boots was already fighting December 17th. So if it's confirmed that Spence, and then that wasn't the headliner. So if it's confirmed that Spence is the headliner, then yeah, it's gonna be the same date.
Yeah, but what do you think about, Fox or Showtime?
I think the same thing. Excuse me. I think the same thing as you. It should be on Fox. It's because it's more accessible. They could run more. They could promote it more on there, like more ads. Get people more pumped for it in time. They could do the same thing on Showtime, but obviously Showtime's technically not free, so there's less subscribers there. Whereas people tune in to watch football all the time on Fox and a bunch of other sports, WWE, and just hella crazy shit.
Exactly. And if you go look at the numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. The bigger pay-per-view fights have been on Fox. Through Fox. They do bigger numbers than Showtime do. They just do. Because of the accessibility. More people gonna know about it. Like I said, last time EJ fought, when he fought goddamn Ugas, a lot of people that I know personally that fuck with boxing, they didn't even know Errol Spence was fighting because they don't watch Showtime. They didn't see the build up. But when he fight on Fox, everybody know. Everybody know. You watching football, they doing ads. Everybody watch college football. Not everybody, but millions of people watch college football. Millions of people watch the NFL. You're running ads all through. You know what I'm saying? Fox. Everybody got Fox. It's free. Tip Bailey says, I think Boots gonna be fighting Rashidi Ellis. That's a fire ass fight. If they put Boots and Rashidi Ellis on, man, that shit is fire, dog. That's the type of shit I would love to see.
I like that fight.
Right.
Then who was it that? Oh no, never mind. I heard it was somebody else, but I think that was Virgil versus Stanionis. Yeah, I think it was that one.
Virgil Ortiz versus Stanionis?
I think that's what I heard. Yeah, I thought one of them was going up against Boots, but no, I'm tripping.
I don't see that fight happening because Ortiz is with Golden Boy.
I know.
Yeah, that's a hard fight to make. Ortiz is with Golden Boy, but so I would like to see Stanionis and Butayev running back.
I wouldn't mind that. That was a good fight. That was a great fight.
That was a hell of a fight. But let Stanionis and Butayev run it back. But
if you're Stanionis, do you want to run it back? Like,
probably not. not if I got my mandatory position on the line. And the only reason that I could see that this Keith Thurman shit is official and not Stanionis, because Stanionis, he really couldn't. Errol Spence really didn't have no leeway with Stanionis. But y'all got to thank Richard Schaefer. Richard Schaefer is Stanionis mandatory. And Richard Schaefer, he has a very, very great business relationship with Al Haney. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way this is happening is Richard Schaefer, right, is willing to put it aside once again, have his fighter put it aside because of his business relationship with Al Haney. It pays to have great business relationships in boxing. It does. My man Corey Moore in the building. He says Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence, New Year's Eve in Dallas. Book it. New Year's Eve will be dope. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what date. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't start throwing dates around. Like Blue Blood said, December the 17th, and I'm not finna ride with none of that. Like, could we see what happened with all these different dates in boxing all the time? But we'll see. Like I said, we just got to wait for Errol Spence. He said he's going to make a big announcement really soon. I do believe that it's Keith Thurman because, Blue said it's 100%. There wasn't no questions behind it. He said it's 100% going to be Keith Thurman. He already got the word. So, yeah, That's dope.
If it was New Year's Eve, as a fan, somebody who's staying home is gonna spend time with the family, I think that would be dope. But as far as a business, if they're trying to put it on New Year's Eve, I think they know people aren't gonna show up like that on New Year's Eve, you know?
Whoever this dude bruised and confused is, he said Thurman ain't gonna fight Spence. Stop the cap. Okay, who the fuck is he gonna fight then? Who he gonna fight then? I want you to tell me who he gonna fight, since you know every motherfucking thing. Since you know more than what we do, I want you to tell me who he gonna fight then. Motherfuckers just come in here just on some disrespectful shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't know a motherfucking thing about nothing, but want to come in here on some disrespectful shit out the blue.
Don't you get a strike for cussing? No, you don't get a strike for cussing.
You don't get no strike for cussing. You know, if that was so, I would have been not had a channel a long time ago.
I'm saying Thurman don't want the fight.
How you gonna say that Thurman don't want the fight?
I think he does, bro. I think he does.
He wants to fight.
Yeah, I think
like Thurman been wanting to fight. You know what I'm saying?
The only time he didn't want the fight is when he was the champion. Then he didn't. In my opinion, he didn't want the fight. But now that he's not the champion, Spence has all the gold. Yeah, Thurman wants to fight because now it's a risk worth taking, whereas before it wasn't a risk worth taking.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I definitely got. I've always had Errol Spence beating Keith Thurman. Ain't nothing changed. Had nothing to do with Keith Thurman having to lay off or Keith Thurman not being the same fighter that he was with the ponytail. Don't have nothing to do with none of that. I just always had Errol Spence winning that fight. But I've always wanted to see that fight also. And I've always thought that if they ever fought, that the fight would be big. Now, they got to speed up the process as far as the advertisement, because December is right around is next month. You feel what I'm saying? So they got to speed up the process, bro. We already,
and hopefully those guys have already been in camp.
Right. I know Errol Spence. I don't know about
him.
Damn, that's a good thing we didn't say. Have they already been in camp though? Like they've been training, they've been staying in shape, but been in camp. Because if you say how many weeks say it does happen on December the 17th.
Well, you usually want an 8-week camp.
Happen on December. I'm just saying, just let's use December the 17th as the date. How many weeks out?
That's a 6-week camp. That's not enough.
That's a short camp for a fight.
It's a short camp,
especially for Keith Thurman.
Yep, you want an 8-week camp.
Thurman, somebody that last time I seen him, he wasn't keeping his weight down. He was kind of big the last time I seen Keith Thurman not too long ago. Errol Spence has been keeping his weight down because he was already expecting to fight Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, but has he been in camp for too long now?
Nah, because he hasn't been in camp. He was just doing
training.
He wasn't sparring in like full camp. They hadn't started full camp, but he was keeping his weight down and he was staying in shape training. But I'm saying I don't know if I can say that same shit about Keith Thurman. Does Thurman beat Amnesia? Man, Thurman beat the shit out of fucking David Amnesia. Like Thurman's a much better fighter than Amnesia. What much better? But Zenith says the rules for former champs that vacated. Canelo wasn't a champ. He said Canelo wasn't a champ or won a fight. He said, but Canelo probably paid in clenbuterol bucks. He must be talking to somebody else.
Maybe.
My man Kevin Stenhouse says New Year's Eve will be dope. 12/17 and 12/31 are the only open dates in Dallas. Otherwise, it's January. Yeah, I think it's gonna be in December.
I think it'll be the
make
17th.
Terrence Crawford look bad because the numbers that Errol Spence and Keith Thurman gonna do, they're gonna blow that shit out the water. And then they having it like a week apart. All the focus is gonna be on Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about what goddamn Terrence Crawford and goddamn Amnesia doing. Nobody's gonna care about that fight. All of the focus is gonna be on Errol Spence and Keith Thurman.
It's too bad Spence didn't have more time, bro. Honestly, because if he did, and I was Spence, I'd have put it on December 10th, just to be petty. I'd have put it on December 10th.
Yep. All right. You want to run off and backdoor? You want to run off on me and run to some other company, right? And try to do a deal behind my back? Okay, bet. I'm gonna fight on the same day. And me and Keith Thurman, we going on December the 10th. Let's see how good that shit sell. I feel you. I would have did the same shit, dog. Petty, you know. Petty.
It's a bigger fight. Nobody would have bought the Crawford fight if Spence is fighting on the same day.
Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. His own fans wouldn't even buy that shit because they're gonna sneak and want to see Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. You feel me? But man, I appreciate everybody for coming through. I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up, man. Let me get your last words. I gotta get to kids. Let me get your last words before we get out of here, Box Talk.
Not much, man. Just looking forward to some good boxing soon. I know November 5th is a pretty good day. David Morrell's got a good fight. So yeah, y'all make sure to watch that if you're looking for some boxing and there's nothing big on the calendar. They haven't promoted it, bro. I don't know why, but it's a good ass fight. So looking forward to that. And then November 26th.
David Morrell and who?
Ido, I can't pronounce his last name, bro. His first name is Idos Yerbanasoli or something like that. He's undefeated. Huh?
When he fight? When is the fight?
November 5th. It's next week.
That's next.
It's a good ass fight, bro. Check it out. It's on BoxRec already. Huh?
That's this weekend, right?
Is it this weekend?
November the 5th should be this weekend.
Oh, it's this weekend. Yeah, I'm tripping. It's this weekend.
That's dope.
Undefeated guy.
And Zordo. We're gonna talk about that.
Yes.
Talk about that. Zordo Ramirez and motherfucking and Vasyl. That's gonna be fire right there.
But that's where the time frame should be different because where is that?
Zordo and
that's like in another country.
They're not fighting in the U.S.
No, they're not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're fighting somewhere else. So we should be able to watch. Like, if you're trying to watch boxing all day, you should be able to. 'Cause I don't know what time they're fighting. Oh, that's in Dubai though. It's in Dubai.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And David Morrell, I think he's 7-0, fighting a guy who's 16-0. He's like from Kazakhstan. He's good. He's a good ass fighter. They're fighting in Minnesota, so I don't know the time frame.
It'll be later on in the night.
Yeah.
So with that, so now that I know that, Vasyl and Zordo Ramirez, they'll be fighting early in the day because of the time difference. So that shit'll be like early, like 12, like, you know what I'm saying? Depending on where you at, it's gonna be early.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people aren't talking about it, but this is a good weekend of boxing.
Yeah, right. It is a solid weekend for diehard boxing. This is a solid weekend. Yep. But man, I appreciate everybody. Swat Jones, I see you. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for coming through, showing love and support to the channel. Let me get your last words. You know, what let everybody know what you got going on, Box Talk.
Just gonna go to some of these fights, hopefully have some new content out for you guys on the channel. That's it, man. If you guys like watching fights, go check out the channel. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and before you get out of here, make sure you hit the like button on your way out.
Yes, sir. The Queen Nick J in the building, and salute to the Queen. Y'all had a hell of a show this past Friday. Hell of a show, you and Boxiana. And y'all go support, you know, the Queens of Boxing, Nick J and Boxiana. They got a hell of a show too. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this Morrell fight. I didn't even know he was fighting. So salute.
It's a good ass fight, bro. It's a good ass fight.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm also definitely looking forward to seeing Vasyl and Zordo. People know that I rock with Zordo. That's one of my guys. I fuck with Zordo, and I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. I always said that Canelo Alvarez, Zordo is the reason that Canelo Alvarez said that he didn't want to fight no more Mexicans. I've always said that shit. When Zordo was running through 168 and everybody started putting Zordo Ramirez and Canelo Alvarez together saying that they should fight to make a huge fight in Mexico at 168, when Canelo was talking about he was going to move up. Right after that, look at the timeline. It was right around in when Canelo said, you know, nope, I ain't fighting no more Mexicans. So, yeah, I fuck with Zordo heavy.
He's a big boy, man. He's a big boy. We'll see what happens this weekend.
It's going to be a different type of fight. It's going to be a different type of fight. We're going to see. We're going to see, you know. But yeah, y'all hit the like button. I appreciate everybody that came through, show love and support to the channel. We will be back tomorrow, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and we gone.